At the beginning of the 8th century, the Eastern Roman Empire was facing its demise. From the east came the most powerful power of its time, the Arab Caliphate. From within, the empire is torn apart by coups, civil wars, and power struggles. Emperors are replaced one after another, provinces are lost. The former power of Rome seems irretrievably gone. Just when it seems that Constantinople is doomed, one of the most incredible stories of the Middle Ages emerges. A story about a huge siege, about Greek fire, about the last desperate attempt of the Caliphate to conquer Europe, and about the people who saved Christendom. This is the story of the siege of Constantinople in the 8th century, a story of empires, wars, and the intervention of the Bulgarians in European history. In the 7th century, the Eastern Roman Empire experienced one of its most difficult periods, continuous wars with the Arab Caliphates, and the loss of entire provinces. Internal power struggles put the state in a desperate fight for survival. At the end of this turbulent period, Emperor Leontius came to power. His reign marked the beginning of an era that went down in history as the 20 Years' Anarchy, a time of continuous coups and political instability. During his reign, the Arabs reached the western territories and invaded North Africa. Carthage, one of the most important cities, fell. The city was finally lost, and with it, almost all of North Africa. After this defeat, Leontius was deposed by Tiberius III. The new emperor, however, failed to stabilize the state. Only a few years later, Justinian II returned from exile in the Crimea to oppose him. Justinian managed to gather allies and received decisive support from the Bulgarians. In return, he promised a rich tribute and military privileges. With their help, he regained his throne and entered Constantinople victoriously. After his return, however, he began a fierce struggle with his opponents. Instead of strengthening the state, he turned his attention to revenge. While the empire was consumed by conflict, the Arabs continued their advance into Asia Minor. Growing discontent soon led to another coup. Justinian was overthrown and killed, and Philippic ascended the throne. He inherited a state threatened by external enemies and instability. At this time, the last Roman stronghold in North Africa also fell to Arab rule. Philippic also failed to hold on for long. After another rebellion, power passed to Anastasius II, who showed more foresight. His intelligence revealed that the Arabs were preparing a huge expedition against Constantinople. Anastasius began intensive preparations, strengthening the walls and accumulating supplies. But fate was once again marked by internal conflicts. After a brief civil war, Anastasius was overthrown by Theodosius III. The new ruler made peace with the Bulgarians in order to direct all his forces against the Arab threat. Unfortunately, his reign was also short. He was soon confronted by the talented military leader Leo Isaurus, commander of the Anatolian theme, who took control of the capital in 717. With his accession, the 20 Years' Anarchy ended, and the rule of the Isaurian dynasty began. But the time for celebration was short. As Leo consolidates his power, one of the largest armies the world has ever seen moves east. Constantinople faces a test that will determine the fate not only of the empire, but of all of Europe. Constantinople once again survived. The victory allowed the Romans to advance against the Arabs in northern Syria and Armenia. At the same time, opponents of Leo III attempted to bring back Anastasius II with Bulgarian support. When the plot failed, the Bulgarians abandoned them. During the reign of Leo III, iconoclasm also arose. The emperor supported a policy against the veneration of icons, aiming to direct believers towards God. But in the Eastern Church, icons were a tradition. The religious dispute turned into a deep internal crisis that divided the empire for decades. Between 721 and 739, the Arabs launched more invasions into Anatolia. Leo III managed to repel the pressure and suppress the uprisings. The emperor died in the year 741 after a long reign. His successor was his son, Constantine V, who immediately faced a rebellion. Artavasdes captured Constantinople, but was soon besieged by Constantine's troops. After his defeat, Artavasdes was blinded and exiled. Constantine understood that the state needed military change. During his reign, the Tagma, a new elite military structure was created. The Tagma consisted of professional soldiers on permanent duty under the direct control of the emperor, stationed around the capital. The goal was to limit the ability of provincial armies to revolt. The Tagmae became a striking weapon of the Roman army. Constantine V led successful campaigns, attacking fortresses in Syria and showing that the empire was no longer solely on the defensive. Further relief came from the change of dynasties in the Caliphate. The Umayyads were replaced by the Abbasids, who looked further east. This allows Constantine to turn his attention to the Balkans and to Bulgaria, which becomes his main opponent. To the west, however, Ravenna fell to the Lombards in 751, ending the Roman presence in central Italy. The city of Rome oriented towards papal authority and the Franks. The empire was now limited to the eastern territories, southern Italy and Sicily. Constantine V led numerous campaigns against the Bulgarians until his death in 775. Power passed to his son, Leo IV. Leo IV suppressed a rebellion by his half-brothers and led a successful campaign in Syria. He also relaxed the strict, iconoclastic policy. After his death, in the year 780, he was succeeded by the minor Constantine VI, and the real power was taken over by his mother Irina. Irene suppresses the rebellion of General Nikephoros. Despite Arab attacks in Anatolia, the Romans managed to stabilize the borders. In the year 787, Irene abolished iconoclasm and restored the veneration of icons, but the struggle for power with her son continued. In 797, Irene ordered Constantine VI to be blinded and remain sole ruler, assuming the title of emperor. Her popularity declines due to financial policies. Irina attempts to marry Charlemagne, but he refuses. In the year 800, the Pope crowned Charlemagne as Roman emperor, creating a new claimant to the Roman legacy in the West. In the year 802, Irene was deposed by Nicephorus and sent into exile. With her came the end of the Azorean dynasty, which had saved the empire from collapse. To the east, the Abbasids lurked, and to the north, Khan Krum's Bulgaria rose. The Isaurians saved the empire, but the next century brought new trials. The siege of Constantinople in the 8th century was a moment when the fate of the region hung in the balance, facing the Caliphate. The city survived thanks to the walls, Greek fire, and Bulgarian intervention, which turned the siege into a nightmare for the Arabs. Leo III stabilized the power. Constantine V reformed the army. The dynasty preserved the state in one of the most dangerous centuries. Victory only postpones the trials. The history of Rome is one of constant struggle against caliphates, Western pretenders, and the rise of Bulgaria. Support the channel by liking and sharing. Write in the comments what was the decisive reason for Constantinople's survival. Thank you.